Hi everyone, welcome to day 20 out of 30 recording a YouTube video every day for 30 days and posting it. So today, again, I spent all day with my loved ones and all day today I was contemplating what I discussed yesterday and how you have to quote unquote sacrifice for the life that you want to live. And when I realized it's not a sacrifice, but more of just kind of an equation, then like I feel so much better about making the decisions I want to make that end up in my goal. So like today, for instance, like I had the chance to get ice cream really late at night, and I know you're not supposed to have sugar late at night. It's just not good for you. You're supposed to have it early in the morning if you do have it. And it's just not healthy. Ice cream is not healthy. And I also had gelato yesterday, and I was like, I didn't want it generally, but I also was kind of getting convinced that I do want it. Like, it was being offered to me very generously. And in the end, I was like, I was really thinking about the life I want, about the lifestyle I want to live in every single day, the life I want to breathe in. And just eating ice cream at the time wasn't like, that wasn't part of my future. So it just kind of naturally fell off. So just know that if you think you have to sacrifice, there's just perspective shift that needs to be made. And that's all it takes for you to make it easier to achieve your goals. And not everything is going to be a one-step solution, but every little thing that bridges the gap between you and your goals and the life you would like to achieve, you're getting one step closer, and that's extremely important. And sometimes there's things that will get you 10 steps closer instead of 5 or 1. So that's what the exciting thing is about learning and being open to new perspectives and really dedicating just your heart to what you want to achieve. So today I wanted to discuss something that I kind of realized yesterday, and it was that I was fighting for a relationship that wasn't equally like there wasn't an equal give and take, and this is not a romantic relationship in my life. So it ended up being an argument that I initiated because I was just literally fighting for I was fighting for a relationship, even though the other person is not or was not showing any real commitment. And I'm not sure how to describe this, because at the end of that, I was just glad I got my point across that that I'm not really feeling love from the other person, but there's this fake relationship there. And you might ask me, why did you try, if you knew that, why did you try to hold on to an artificial relationship? And the reason is because this person is an extremely important person in my life, and when you have a lifelong relationship with someone, you don't just let it go. But it was getting to the point where the relationship was starting to atrophy, and I think there were times where my emotional boundaries were crossed, where I was getting really over time they were not seeing me or making connections with me, and I was getting really upset, but I wasn't saying anything. So it's kind of resentment also built up at the same time. And I just want to say that there was nothing I could have said or done that would have made the situation different. I think that in the end I got my point across and the person listened, but it's only in time that I will be able to tell that there's a commitment being made and that our relationship is going to strengthen. And I'll say that it didn't feel good. I don't mean this from like a prideful place. It just didn't feel correct that I had to fight and convince someone to love me. And I thought I was above that. I thought that was a level I already passed. I thought that was something I already learned. And today I woke up and immediately I was hit with just the shame from being angry and expressing myself in such a dominant way that in the end was not necessary. And that if I, instead of trying to control what was happening, even though I felt unbelievably heartbreaking, if I just didn't try to control it and I gave it to God, I wonder what the outcome would have been. And I think by fighting for the relationship and arguing, I actually prolonged God's part in the relationship. Because like I mentioned, the relationship was starting to atrophy. And it was just starting to die. And I just couldn't stand it. And the people around me gave up on this relationship. They gave up on having a relationship with them, but I didn't want to. And it was hard because I didn't know how else to communicate with them besides getting really upset. And so when I woke up this morning and I felt that shame, I was really conflicted because the first thing that came to my mind is, I need to apologize. And I really hope this is not pride, but to be honest, I didn't feel like it was the right thing to do. And there's a few reasons for that. Well, the first reason is that I want to remember that my decisions are permanent. I want to learn my lessons. And I think that if I apologized, somewhere in me, it's more for me and more to soothe me rather than tell the other person that what I did was wrong. And the second thing was, I didn't think expressing myself was wrong. I actually think that it was justified. And I don't know if maybe I need to be humbled, or I'm being prideful or arrogant. But if I'm going to teach people to be authentic, sometimes it's going to be complicated what you truly feel. And not what you truly feel, but what you truly know your body's telling you. And I know my heart is telling me that it's just not sorry for fighting for something. That meant so much. And I don't think this is the wisdom I gained from this was something I was going to gain had I not expressed myself. And, I don't think that arguing is very effective. And I do think it's a shame that I couldn't and I didn't understand how to express how upset I was in a way that was conductive. I think the reason I got angry was because I think that was the only way I knew that the other person would listen to me. If someone only listens to you when you're being very domineering or angry, it's just not worth it. And it's very painful because this relationship means a lot to me, but what comes out of a relationship that you have to beg for, that the only time the other person listens to you is when you're crying out for them. At that point, I think it's manipulation. And I just realized this while I'm talking, so this is a big realization for me. Because I was trying to control the situation, and in the end, it's just manipulative. Because as much as I might be tied by blood to this person, and I think I have the right to have a relationship with them, I actually don't. And that's something I don't want to accept. It's something I'm refusing to accept. And I think this is one of the most difficult lessons I'm learning. It's an extremely new lesson. So, the relationship is okay right now. It's only been a day. But to accept that was probably the last time I'm going to fight for it. And that I actually have to let it go. And I have to give it to God. I have to let people do what they want and let people have agency over their lives. And even though it was coming from a caring place, that I just wanted to have a relationship with them because I love them so much, I can't try to control it and just be mad because I know it was more of a subconscious thing. I noticed they were not listening to me, so I just kept getting more and more upset. And then they finally listened to me. But then now that I'm reflecting after, it's that's manipulative. And that just sucks to realize, right? And if I woke up this morning and I said I'm sorry and I apologize for the whole situation, would I have realized that I was being manipulative or controlling? And would I understand how permanent what I said was? It's not really what I said, it was just my delivery. I was very angry. Having to control situations just never feels good. So, what can you get out of this video? What's in this for you? everyone can do whatever they want when it comes to relationships, and really noticing if someone else is not interested anymore. And you can fight for it. You can say that you're fighting for it, but at the end of the day, you're just manipulating the other person to stick around and be with you and care about you. And you can't make anyone love you. No matter how upset you get or how much you raise your voice, which is primarily what I did. I was raising my voice. It's not going to change like their decision, you know. That's just not how it works. So this is like a really odd video for me to film. Very personal, honestly. Extremely personal. But there's a reason why people say you shouldn't be fighting to be in a relationship with anybody, like romantic or not romantic. And it's because, like I said, trying to control the situation, and you will automatically do whatever it is to control it and get what you want, and that's just manipulation. And I mean, that's not an enjoyable life. It's just not. So I hope this video was helpful to somebody. I hope that maybe it made you reflect on a relationship you had, or it might remind you in the future, maybe something lights up in the future when you might catch yourself doing this, because it seems so innocent at first. You think you're fighting for a relationship. You think you're fighting for the other person. You think it's righteous. It's not, because underneath it, you want them to do what you want to do. Or rather, what you want them to do. So, yeah, that was my little spiel for today. I'm really happy to be here. I'm really glad to be doing these videos, because it's like journaling. I'm connecting with people. And I really hope that what I'm saying means something to somebody. And I hope that showing up means something to someone. All right. Big love to you guys. Bye. See you later.